My name is Jing and I am an artist, illustrator, and muralist working in Brooklyn, New York.
This is me in Austin, Texas, discovering the city through the artists who have painted its murals. Murals not only represent the perspective of the artist, but also the community that they're a part of.
It's important for a generation coming up after me to see themselves represented on like a city hall building.
Murals can be simple or extravagant, hidden or loud, calling attention to themselves and inviting people in to experience something specific. When considering the purpose of my mural work, my hope is usually to bring brightness and a moment of escape.
The beauty of murals and street art is that you can approach it from any direction with any background as any person. That is so cool. It's simple in its concept, but it's actually really effective. The colors are thoughtful and the gradient is thoughtful and the progression of the colors. I can't stop looking up. It reminds me of the James Turrell effect, where you see this piece of the natural world interacting with this painted element. The fact that it's a corner and it's closed off from the rest of the street, it just makes it feel like you're having a private moment, a private experience. It's really incredible that the artist was able to achieve that effect. It's hard to talk about a mural that is like so well known. I think that I had my impressions of it before I even got here, so it's interesting to see it in person. It is smaller than I expected, so I can see the original intention and how it started as such a quaint, nice way to celebrate the city. And I think that when the original artists painted this, they didn't expect it to be a tourist attraction, probably because Instagram didn't exist back then or wasn't as big as it is now.
I was primarily familiar with Daniel Johnston's music. Because of that, I was really excited to see his Hi, How Are You mural.
I have read that they've switched out the business here a couple of times and they've tried to get rid of this mural or paint over the wall, but then local people rallied against it and preserved it. I think it's hard to know what will resonate with people actually, and obviously this is an example of a piece that does that. It's a delightful image, and I think that it brings people a lot of joy, and joy is a point of connectivity. It's so good. It's such a good drawing.
I think the impactful nature of murals makes the medium a lot louder and more confrontational than digital and printed work, which is an exciting premise from a creative perspective. Alonso Estrada is known by his alias, the Death Head. I spoke to him about the symbolism in his piece.
The institution that we're painting this mural is Mexicarte. Okay. It's a Mexican-American museum, and the theme was equity. So if you see the mural, everybody's trying to reach to the apple tree, and that's the goal, right? So you have characters, different sizes, there's some are disabled, and the reason why I identify with this theme is because I also needed assistance growing up. It meant for me a lot to create this because I'm talking about also myself.
As I think about the murals that I saw around the city and the pieces that resonated with me emotionally, I found that there was a common theme and a common thread of joy and celebration and a peacefulness and confidence in the identity that a lot of these pieces represented.
This mural's called Seniors in the Park, and it's just seniors enjoying a day in the park. I can't think of anything that's more pleasant than that. This artist, Brian Joseph, creates artwork that kind of centers around community, individuality within community, and celebrations of everyday life. And that definitely comes through in this piece. It is just depicting seniors having a nice day in the park, which I think is so lovely and so simple. It's such a simple concept, but it also conveys so much.
JD Moore installed Repose over 3 days in downtown Austin.
Okay, this is really cool. The colors are amazing. They're so vibrant. It's really well balanced, but it's bold at the same time. There is like a beautiful, calm moment here, and then you kind of get this bolder focus as you're coming up to the center, and it really just makes you want to stand back and take in the whole thing.
We spoke about his process, his style, and approach to mural making.
Hey, Jing.
Hi, JT.
It was very nice to meet you.
Great to meet you too. When you first approach a mural project, what are the initial things that you consider when you arrive at a site?
A mural is an immediate interaction between the wall itself and the environment around it. So that's kind of the first thing I think of is what shape would make sense within this space, and figuring out how I can use my practice of figures and floral and foliage, how I can integrate that in the context of whatever this building is.
So for the mural Repose that you created for this festival, what were the things that you had to consider in terms of who was going to be looking at it? Because a lot of the people who are going to be viewing this mural aren't necessarily locals or from Austin.
I was hoping to have like this pedestrian walkway be a place where people can, see something that kind of releases the tension in the shoulders and reminds them about something pleasant. I think that was really a subconscious decision just based on what I knew about Austin. It has this energy to it that seems very hustle and bustle in a sense. In the lens of influencing your environment, I wanted to have that be a place of like recharge.
I did see and read that you are inspired by Egyptian iconography, and that was incorporated into this mural as well. Is there any symbolism in particular that resonates with you?
I chose Egyptian symbolisms and shapes mostly because what I'm doing as a practice of like self-identification and self-discovery is working my way through the continent of Africa to like feel like I can find where I belong. For a lot of people who are similar to myself in the sense of not having a heritage outside of modern day America, I think that by exploring these things along the way, other people will pick up that identity, that sense of identity. Like I can see my family being from Egypt or being from Senegal, and I'm hoping to sort of leave trails of identity while I'm finding my own.
So it does feel like you're very much considering your community as well when you're creating this work,
Big time.
along with working through your personal identity
Exactly.
and exploring that. I was really surprised at the range of emotions that I felt upon seeing these different pieces. I was moved by something that was very figurative and representational, and also felt emotion from a piece that was very simple and abstract. Those moments can exist across a variety of artwork because as long as you are gaining insight into that artist's narrative and the story, that I think is what stays with you. Thanks for watching. For more on Skillshare, click the link below.